Hello, welcome back to the Shoogly Shed. I'm Ewan. Last time you saw with the Royal Enfield, we switched the handlebars out from the clip-ons to a set of risers, and I mentioned that there was a couple of little things I wanted to get done to it as well before I think the bike's ready to get MOT'd and get out on the road. So today I'm hoping to address those little issues, and I'll show you what they are now. So, riser handlebars, looking good. The first thing I want to do is fix this flat tyre. Like I said last time, I pushed the bike over a nail, bringing it into the shed. So that's annoying, but I do have spare inner tubes, so I'm going to take the wheel off, tyre off, new tube, tyre back on, wheel back on. Well, that took a frustrating amount of time. These are Pirelli Sport Demon tyres and they are so damn tight. Getting them on and off was a bit of a nightmare, and then also when you're trying to fit a tube in as well and not pinch the tube. So it was a bit of jiggery pokery there to try and get them in. Anyway, it's done. Puncture's fixed, new tube's in there, and it's all pumped up nice and hard, so hopefully that's the end of that. Next thing to address is the electrics. Costume change, it's another day. I basically ran out of time the other day, so a couple of things I want to do to the electrics are twofold. I want to fit a new horn because basically the old horns vibrated off and got lost. So I've got one horn to fit, and I'm just going to change the wiring to make it one horn and then relocate it as well. Then the other thing I want to check is the battery and charging system, because the battery was flat when I picked the bike up and I jumped it and rode it home, and it worked again when I filled up a petrol station, so clearly the alternator did something to charge it, but then after a couple of days it died again. So I've checked the battery and it doesn't seem to be in very good condition, and I'll show you what it is. So this is the battery that was fitted to the bike. It's a Motobat MB12U. It's an AGM, an absorbed glass mat battery. They're meant to be more reliable and slightly more powerful, I think, than standard sort of lead acid batteries. These also are sort of modular. They come with detachable and movable posts, so you can fit them to a variety of different bikes, and they come in a few different shapes and sizes as well to pretty much fit any bike model out there. So this one that was on it, basically it got shorted for quite a long period of time. There's some connectors I'll show you in a minute that's quite easy to get the wrong way round, and a couple of cables had melted, and I think basically it's just, kaput the battery. So I've got a new one of these to fit, and hopefully that will solve some of the issues. So this is the new battery. It's the exact same as the old one, just a brand new one, an MB12U Motobat AGM battery. These are the ring connectors I was talking about. They're grounds for a few different components. I'm not really sure why Enfield don't just wire them straight into the loom, but either way they all kind of connect up to the negative terminal of the battery here. These ones basically here had accidentally been connected to this side of the battery and had melted, understandably. So I've re-sleeved these in heat shrink, so hopefully that will keep them nice and protected. And I've also, the red cover here had deteriorated and cracked and fallen off, so this was left exposed, so I've now wrapped that in tape as well to stop that ever shorting out. So hopefully that will be the end of the issues. What I want to do now is get my voltmeter out, run the bike and check that it's charging correctly, and if it's charging correctly, hopefully that will be the end of those issues. Right, I've got my voltmeter on volts. Let's just have a wee look. Red to positive, black to negative. Reading out at 12.4 volts, so that's a healthy battery, happy with that. Next thing to do is to turn the ignition on and run the bike, and then check the voltage then, and that will give you an indication of what condition the charging system of the bike is in. Okay. 13.5 volts, so that's quite consistent. Then you rev the engine, vibrate you off the tank. Basically that goes up to about 14.5 volts. It doesn't go any higher than that, so that's quite good. It's not a surge. So I think the electrics are pretty much working. I need to basically give it a good run and a test and then check everything again. But having performed that loaded volt test, it doesn't go more than like 14.5 volts. If it went higher than like 15.5 volts, your regulator rectifier is probably not working very well. And if it was below like 13 volts, 13.5 volts, then your stator has a problem. That's basically, I think, the ins and outs of that. Either way, this battery is obviously brand new, it's totally fine, it's charging fine, so hopefully that means the electrical system in the bike is working correctly. Next thing to do is to wire in the new horn. Okay, so that's the new horn fitted under there, nice and neat. Shortened the cables, because there was two horns. I basically terminated two of the spare cables and put the new connections onto the ones I was going to use. The cable runs up nice and neatly to that, and just to prove my working, yeah, that's loud. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was this. This is a fault code tester or checker. I think something that there's an official name for it. I can't remember what it is. Either way, these are fairly cheap. They're like 30 quid. But what I want to show you is the fact that they usually come basically as that plug there. But this adapter that you see plugged into the end of it is for a KTM. I'll stick up the actual link to what one it is, but that's only about £12, that adapter. That's about 30 quid, and it can do like cars and other bikes and things. But this basically fits the Enfield. There's a plug into the top of the wiring loom just under the seat there that you can plug this into and check the fault codes. I had a couple of fault codes or warning lights had come up on the dash, and I think it was from when I was fanning about with the electrics, so I want to clear them, make sure they don't come back, and then yeah, pretty much that should be it sorted. This goes in like this. Now we turn the ignition on, this lights up, and we've got our menu. So if we go to diagnose, processing, so we've got some fault codes. So we go into them, read the codes, fuel pump primary circuit and the vehicle speed sensor. I had unplugged both of those, so I think I might have upset them. So if I go back, I'm going to erase those codes. Great. It's pretty useful. So if you ever accidentally unplug something and mess it up, essentially this little reader can clear fault codes and stop the bike having computer-based issues, or at least you can diagnose some things with it as well. So for all of about 35 quid in total, definitely worth getting this little machine. This one's a C Reader 3001, Creeder, or C Reader I think it is, 3001, and like I say, that adapter is a generic KTM adapter that also fits the Enfields. So you can check that out. I'll put the link in the description if you want one for your bike. They're fairly cheap, and like I say, pretty useful to get you started on your diagnostics if your bike's got an issue. So I've just got to pack some of the electrics back together after I was doing a bit of investigating, and I'm pretty sure it's all working properly now. We've got the horn shortened and refitted. So actually I think the bike is ready for an MOT now. Just needs to get all this back together and then get it booked in. So pretty excited to get this out on the road. But that is essentially where I'm going to leave the Enfield just now, because I've got a few other things up my sleeve and I don't want it up on the ramp just now. As I've said before, this is going to be Mrs Shoogly's bike, so it'd be nice if she got a little bit of mileage out of it and kind of figured out what she likes and what she doesn't like about it before I do any more drastic changes. That aside, it won't be disappearing off the channel. I'm sure there'll be other things to be doing to it, but I'm going to get it, you know, buttoned up and taken off the stand for just now. Also, check out this awesome gift I got sent. It's a custom sprayed Shoogly shed deck. How awesome is that? Alexander John Cooper on Instagram, you legend. Sprayed up with my logo and the saltire, the Scottish flag, and it is immaculately done. It's a really good paint job. I'm so psyched to have it up on my wall, and what a surprise. Late Christmas present almost. So yeah, thank you again, Alexander John Cooper on Instagram. What a surprise, and yeah, can't thank you enough. Other news, which is tinged with sadness, is that I have sold the GS 500 iron girder. I got a really good offer for it, and the money is going to go towards my next couple builds. So I let it go. It's a way up to a dude up sort of Aberdeen direction. So yeah, Struan should keep an eye out for it. It's not Struan. Struan hasn't bought it, but it might be on the roads near him. Or if you're up that way, keep a wee eye out for it. But yes, it's on to a good home, I hope. So it basically frees up me a little bit of finance, but also space to start a new project. And that means I get to go shopping. I'm going to check out a couple of bikes this weekend, which I'm pretty excited about. A couple of things that have caught my eye already. You can't keep me idle for long. I also have another little project up my sleeve, which I'm going to hopefully do a range of videos on too, so please do look out for them, and thank you to everyone who already subscribes to the channel, and if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. I'm so close to that 1,000, just edging every day, creeping up and up and up, and yeah, that'd be a really nice sort of start to my year to hit that number. As usual, please do like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next episode, I hope, and I hope you all have a nice weekend. Goodbye.